Good morning, children. Let us continue our class from a previous topic. In the previous class, we have seen what are dimensional formulae and how to derive dimensional formulae of various physical quantities and how many types of physical quantities are there. And we have just entered into the applications of dimensional analysis, and we have seen what is principle of homogeneity. And based on the principle of homogeneity, we have derived some we have seen some problems or some numericals based on the principle of homogeneity. And today let us see the applications of dimensional analysis. In that, we are going to see the first application, that is deriving the relation between different physical quantities. So we can derive the relations between different physical quantities using this dimensional analysis. How to do that? Well, let me derive a formula. F is equals to ma, where F stands for force, M stands for mass, and A stands for acceleration. So in order to derive a relation, what we need to do now, forget this now. You know, force as a physical quantity, mass as a physical quantity, and acceleration as a physical quantity. To derive this, let F be proportional to m to the power of A or m to the power of x. Similarly, F be proportional to A to the power of y. Combining these two, I will be getting F is proportional to m to the power of x and A to the power of y. So in order to take this proportionality symbol, I will be using a constant. F is equals to some constant k into m to the power of x and A to the power of y. Now if I just apply the dimensional formula for force and mass and acceleration, here k is a constant, it is a proportionality constant and it has no dimensional formula. So these terms I have a dimensional formula. Force dimensional formula is m L T to the power of minus 2, and mass dimensional formula is capital M, and acceleration dimensional formula is L T to the power of minus 2. Using these three here, I will be getting m L T to the power of minus 2 is equal, this is dimensionless, m to the power of x, L to the power of y, T to the power of minus 2y. So now, applying the principle of homogeneity to this equation. For an equation to be correct, the dimensional formula on either side should be same. So now, mass are same basis, length same base, and time is also same base. So I will be getting from here x is equals to 1. Similarly, y is also equals to 1, because it is m to the power of 1, L to the power of 1, m to the power of x and m to the power of 1. So x is equals to, bases are same, so the exponents also should be same, so x is equals to 1. Similarly, here y is also L to the power of y and L to the power of 1, so y is equals to 1. So from this I will be getting, and similarly T to the power of minus 2, T to the power of minus 2y. So it will be satisfied only if y is equals to 1. So from here I will be using, as k is proportionality constant, I will be getting equation F is equals to some constant k into m to the power of 1 and A to the power of 1. Or simply I can write F is equals to some k into ma. This is the actual structure of the formula. this k we will be taking as a proportionality constant, and by this method we cannot find the value of k, but we will be getting the actual structure to derive the formula for force. Let us see second example. So let us see a second example where we are going to derive a relation for time period of a simple pendulum. T is equals to 2 pi into under root L by G, where T is time, L is length of the pendulum, G is acceleration due to gravity. So to derive this formula, I will be using the same principle again. Let T be proportional to L to the power of A, or simply I will be taking X, and T be proportional to G to the power of Y. Combining these two, I will be getting T is proportional to L to the power of X and G to the power of Y. Knowing the dimensional formula, time period, time. So dimensional formula is capital T to the power of 1, L simple length, G acceleration due to gravity means acceleration only, so L T to the power of minus 2. So I will be getting, using here this side it is capital T in square brackets is equals to some constant. Constant doesn't have any dimensional formula, so I can use L to the power of X, L to the power of, and T to the power of minus 2 whole to the power of Y. Simplifying this, what I will be getting, T is equals to L power X and L power Y, T to the power of minus 2y. Simplifying this, I will be getting T to the power of 1 L power X plus Y T power minus 2y. So this side I don't have L, so I can take L power 0. Here I have L power xy, bases are same, so x plus y is equals to 0. Similarly, I will be getting minus 2y is equals to 1. T and T. So as x is equals to minus y and y is equals to minus 1 by 2. So I will be getting x is equals to 1 by 2. Using those two relations, here I will be getting T is equals to L power x 1 by 2 and G to the power of minus 1 by 2. So T is equals to L power 1 by 2 by G power 1 by 2. This can be rewritten as under root of L by G. So T is equals to some proportionality constant into under root of L by G, the main structure. Here the K value is generally 2 pi, but it cannot be found using this method. Now third example, let us derive the formula for centripetal force. Centripetal force is a force acting on a particle executing circular motion. Consider a particle moving in a circular path. Suppose a particle of mass m moving in a circular path of radius r here, and if its tangential velocity at any point is given by v, this force depends upon these three topics: mass, velocity and radius. So here consider Fb proportional to m power x, Fb proportional to v power y and Fb proportional to r power z, where F dimensional formula is mL to the power of minus 2, v stands for velocity, L to the power of minus 1, r stands for radius, nothing but length L, and m stands for capital M. These are the dimensional formula of these four physical quantities. And combining these three, I will be getting F is proportional to m power x, v power y r power z. So I can take f is equal to some constant k into m to the power of x, v to the power of y, r to the power of z. Substituting the dimensional formula, m, l, t to the power of minus 2, fourth dimensional formula here, is equals to, constant doesn't have any dimensional formula, capital M to the power of x, L, t to the power of minus 1, whole to the power of y, and r is L, L to the power of z. Here again simplifying this, I will be getting m to the power of x, L to the power of y, t to the power of minus y, L to the power of z. So I will be getting, still simplifying this, m power x, L and L, L power y plus z, t power minus y. So comparing this part with this one, I will be getting m power x and m power 1. So x is equals to 1. L power y plus z, L power 1. Y plus z is equals to 1. T power minus y, t power minus 2. So I will be getting minus y is equals to minus 2. From here I will be getting y is equals to 2. As y is equals to 2, z is equals to 1 minus y. Z is equals to 1 minus y. So y is minus 2. Z I will be getting as 1 minus 2, that is nothing but minus 1. So you got f is proportional to, or f is equals to some constant k into m to the power of x, x value is 1, and v to the power of y, v to the power of y, y power is 2, and r power z, r to the power of z is minus 1. Simplifying this, I will be getting f is equals to mv square by r, some constant k. Again, this is the original structure of the equation. So F stands for here centripetal force. What is centripetal force? It is a force acting on a particle executing circular motion which is acting towards the center. So generally F is equals to mv square by r beta. So these are some examples of first application deriving the relation between different physical quantities. Now let us look into the second application. That second application is nothing but check whether a given equation is correct or not. To check whether given equation is correct or wrong. So let us see the first example. Consider an equation v is equals to u plus at. This is the first equation of motion. You might have come across in your lower classes, basically in the 9th class, where you might have used this formula, v is equals to u plus at. Let us check this equation. According to this particular dimensional analysis, if you consider the principle of homogeneity, according to principle of homogeneity, an equation should contain same dimensional formulae on LHS and RHS. An equation should contain same dimensional formulae on LHS and RHS. And second point is the physical quantities with same dimensional formulae can only be added or subtracted. So using these two, we will be deriving whether a given equation is right or wrong. For a given equation to be right, condition 1 is RHS dimensional formula should be same as LHS dimensional formula, and we are adding some physical quantities here. Their dimensional formula also should be same. Here I am using V, U, A, T. V, U are velocities. A is acceleration, T is time. So knowing the dimensional formula, and if I apply here on LHS side, I will be getting the dimensional formula is L to the power of minus 1. RHS side, it is also velocity L T to the power of minus 1 plus A for acceleration L T to the power of minus 2 into capital T is capital T. This time and minus 1 will be cancelled here. So I will be getting L T to the power of minus 1 plus L T to the power of minus 1. Velocity is added to velocity. So I will be getting a final velocity only. So simple L T to the power of minus 1. L T to the power of minus 1, L T to the power of minus 1. So LHS dimensional formula and RHS dimensional formula are same. Velocity is added to velocity. So based on this equation is correct. Consider another equation. SC is equals to half AT square. Here S stands for a distance, U again velocity, A acceleration, T time. Knowing the dimensional formula, on LHS side I will be getting simple L. On RHS side, L T to the power of minus 1 into T plus half, number doesn't have dimensional formula, A acceleration L T to the power of minus 2 T square as T square. So this T and this T is cancelled, T square and minus T minus power is cancelled. I am having with L plus L, simple, again L only, because L plus L you may consider 2L. If you have 2L is also it's not wrong, wrong. 2 has no dimensional formula, so L and L, LHS dimensional formula, RHS dimensional formula are same. So third one, I am leaving this particular equation for you to check whether it is right or wrong. Let me write on the board, where H is equals to R rho G by 2S cos theta. Check whether this equation is right or wrong. I am giving the physical quantities. H stands for height, R stands for radius, rho stands for density, G stands for acceleration due to gravity, and S stands for surface tension. Surface tension dimensional formula will be same as force by L. F by L. You can apply that. And I have cos theta. Cos theta is trigonometrical function. Trigonometrical function is dimensionless. If it is right, leave it. If it is wrong, then what is the correct equation? Write down. So the next and the last application is to convert units from one system to other, or to find the relation between various same units in different system of different systems. Suppose you have CGS system and you have SI system, you have MK system. Physical quantity has different units in different system. So it is useful to find out the relation among these particular physical quantities and their respective units. The base formula we are using to convert is N1 U1 is equals to N2 U2, where N1 stands for numerical value in one system, U1 stands for its a unit in one system, and N2 stands for other numerical value in other system, and U2 stands for its unit in other system. So let us take one example. Find out the relation between Newton and dyne. Remember, Newton and dyne are units of force in SI and CGS. So, solution. I want 1 Newton is equals to how many dyne? So I want, if I write down this using this particular formula, N1 U1 is equals to N2 U2. Here N1 is 1. U1 stands for Newton. Newton means force dimensional formula. I can write down it as M L T to the power of minus 2. So in place of Newton, I can just write down its dimensional formula as M1 L1 T1 to the power of minus 2. This side, I don't know the value of N2. We should find the value of N2. U2 stands for dyne. Dyne is also nothing but the same physical quantities, mass, length and time. Let them be M2, L2, T2. So I'll be using M2, L2, T2 to the power of minus 2. Rearranging this, I'll be getting N2 is equals to M1 L1 T1 to the power of minus 2. Doing this, I will be getting N2 is equals to M1 L1 T1 by M2 L2 T2 to the power of minus 2. So here I can write this equation as M1 by M2 L1 by L2 and T1 by T2 whole to the power of minus 2. And I already told you that M1, L1, T1 are SI units and M2, L2, T2 are CGS units. So writing their respective values, N2 will be equal to M1 mass in SI is kilogram by mass in CGS is gram. L1 is meter by centimeter, and T1 T2 both are time beta, so S by S whole to the power of -2. So N2 will be equal to, kilogram stands for 1000 grams by gram, meter is 100, centimeter by centimeter. This is 1, S by S is 1, 1 to the power of -2 is again 1. So centimeter, centimeter, gram, gram will be cancelled. So N2 is equals to 1000 into 100. So 10 to the power of 5. So 1 Newton is equals to how many dyne? 10 to the power of 5 dyne. Using same relation, try to find out 1 joule is equals to how many erg, where joule and erg are units of energy.